thought it was a good game, not a great game. Um, Caleb Williams bounced back. I thought he had a great game. 27 to 37 for 348 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. He also had a rushing touchdown. He was very composed. The defense was not as strong as last week, but we did make second half adjustments. I was pleased to see at the end of the game we didn't give up a touchdown. Kalen Bullock had a interception. Looked like he had an opportunity for a pick six, but credit to Emory Jones, the ASU quarterback, who tackled him right around the 30 or 40-yard line. I was pleased that we made second half adjustments, but ASU was making too many plays in the offense in the first half, and 24 points at the Coliseum was, in my opinion, too many points.
I agree with you. I think we sort of had an interesting thing where if we had this week's offense and last week's defense, we could win a national championship. If we had this week's defense and last week's offense, I don't think we could win a Pop Warner game. But I think they showed a lot of improvement. One of the things we've talked about, and those of you guys have been with Rick and I, and Tim, by the way, Tim was at the game, so he'll be joining us in just a little bit. One of the things that we've talked about is we originally said in this season, if we went 8-4, 9-3, that would be a successful season. I think each week we see the team improving. We see the team doing a lot of things that we need for resiliency. Last week they needed to have a lousy game to see that they could come back. They took control, they drove down the field, and they won. This game, they got challenged, and I think that they came out okay. Certainly in the end and wore them down. I mean, I think USC had the better team. Now, Rick, one of the things that I thought was really interesting here, just to talk for a minute about Arizona State as well, is, as some of you guys may have heard, of course, most of you guys know, Herm Edwards, who was certainly a very controversial coach at Arizona State, was fired. And a coach that replaced him was actually one of the most successful coaches in recent Arizona high school history, known as a phenomenal high school coach from Chandler High School in Arizona. And he's been on the Arizona State staff at the college level for a few years. And they told us, we started hearing from the minute he took over that he was turning things around, like surprisingly, that he was adding discipline, cleaning up the team, changing the format of practice, really doing kind of a rapid, quick-fire renovation work on the team. And I thought it showed. I thought that this team played a lot more like Arizona State should than we saw under Herm. What was your take on Arizona State, Rick?
Well, I think they played well for the coach. They had a great first half. I think they played well. They were completing passes. They had the USC defense on its heels. I think Valladay, their running back, was getting some chunk plays. They were getting some pass plays to their primary receiver, Badger. I think Swinson, I believe, was the tight end, who was 6'7", 6'8" target. And so they were executing. And credit to Arizona State. They came out and played a great first half, and better than I expected. So, but what I saw was, okay, is the coaching staff going to make adjustments? And they did. They made adjustments. The Trojans came out in the second half, and you didn't see Valladay carry the ball quite as much. There wasn't much execution. There was more defensive pressure dialed up. I think you could see that. You had sacks by Solo, number 58. You also had Tellini, number 31, come in for a sack in a combo sack with Nick Figueroa. I think you also had Tuli Tuipulotu get a sack in the second half as well. So the defense played much better. I think, all in all, for ASU, they played probably about as well as they could.